Hey everyone, it's June 12th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share it with likely serial killer Bobby Jack Fowler, believed to be responsible for up to 20 of the Highway of Tears murders spanning over 2 decades. And that is him right up there. A native of Texas, Fowler was born in 1939, and after suffering frequent beatings from his parents in childhood, became a transient who worked construction as he traveled across North America. He got married in 1959 and fathered 5 children by his bride, though she divorced him and took the kids in 1971 when his arrests began to pile up. He was an alcoholic and methamphetamine user with an extensive criminal record across the U.S. and Canada, with crimes ranging from sexual assault and firearms charges to attempted murder. His first alleged murders occurred in Texas in 1969 when he was initially charged with killing 2 people, but was only convicted of firing a gun within city limits. Fowler was next incarcerated in Tennessee for attempted murder when, according to investigators, he tied a woman up, beat the hell out of her with her own belt, covered her with brush, and left her to die. He believed that women who let him pick them up as hitchhikers or in bars wanted to be sexually assaulted, and he often acted on that belief over the next few decades. In 1995, Fowler was arrested in Oregon when a woman leapt from a motel window with a rope still tied around her ankle and reported to the police that he had abducted her and attempted to sexually assault her while she was tied up. He was convicted of kidnapping and sentenced to 16 years in prison, at which time his DNA was submitted to a database to be checked against evidence in unsolved crimes. DNA techniques were still pretty new, so while he died of lung cancer in prison in 2006, it wasn't until 2012 when advanced DNA testing allowed Canadian authorities to re-examine many cold cases. Highway 16 in British Columbia had been dubbed the Highway of Tears when dozens of First Nations women went missing and were found dead alongside the highway from the 1970s through the 90s. With extreme poverty in the area, hitchhiking was common, making women traveling alone extremely vulnerable to those who wished to commit heinous acts. In 2012, Fowler's DNA was found on one of the victims who was killed in 1974, and it was then that the Royal Canadian Mounted Police were able to tie him to multiple unsolved murders. Evidence, both forensic and otherwise, pointed to him being the perpetrator of at least 10 murders across Canada, Washington, and Oregon, and possibly as many as 20. Researchers have discovered that after a woman disappeared near where he lived, he would relocate hundreds of miles, repeating that process multiple times as he bounced around North America with a trail of missing women in his wake. It's worth noting that other men have been tied to murders that happened along the Highway of Tears, and it seems likely that much like Los Angeles in the 1980s and 90s, multiple serial killers were active in the area at the same time with similar MOs. Some women were abducted and killed after Fowler was incarcerated in 1995, but with bus service in the area not being instituted until 2017, it's not surprising that more victims from these vulnerable communities are still turning up, now numbering in the 40s. With the investigation still ongoing, Fowler's death makes it unlikely that we'll ever know exactly how many victims he had, but it's likely at least in the double digits. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone's birthday it is today, send them this video so you can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Bobby Jack Fowler, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.